Okay, I think we're live. Cool. So let's review this PR by Matthew. Fixing the wrapping row, apparently. Oh, let me pop the chat also as well. Live. Pop out. Chew. How is this? Man, I always forget about that. Control F. Gotcha. Okay. I gotta automate this eventually. Put that over there. Okay. Okay, Matthew. Bug fix. Wrap row with spacing. So something that I want to test here with this fix. I want to make sure that when the row actually doesn't wrap, the dimensions are correct so that we don't have an up by one error or anything like that. This is I think this is a wrapping row here. Right, so the height is correct, but what happens if I go What happens if I go all the way? Oh, okay, it works. All right, fair enough. So we can merge this thing. Thanks. Merging. We should release a fix of this. Let's see. There was another thing I wanted to fix. What was it? I don't remember now. No, I think we're good. Okay. Pull this thing. I think I'm just gonna cherry pick that fix in into 013. Is there any other fix that has landed that we could release? Fixing the documentation. The color macro I already shipped it, so we just need that. This is in widget, so we probably have to bump. We'll have to bump, I think. Cherry pick. Fix layout for wrap rope with spacing. Okay. Let's see, 0.13.2, so 0.13.3. Bump version to 0.13.3. Push that. I don't introduce entries to the changelog here, even though I should, because the root crate is still in 0.13.1. We're not going to release the root crate itself, so that should be okay. These are just patches to the sub crates, so I'm not gonna. The changelog is for the main crate. Let's release that. Let's post this on the Discord. All right. Okay. Fix that. Now what I want to do. So I want to work on layout a bit. In fact, what I want to do is I want to work on these examples, and I'm going to make one that's called quotes. And ideally, I would like to make a quotes example possible. So how will this work? We have this function over here, returns an element. And we're gonna want probably want a function that quotes an element, returns another element. Yo, Richard, what's up? I'm gonna have a row here, and this is gonna be a vertical rule. And what does this need? I think it needs anything. We're gonna put the element. Let's put the content. Call it content here. So we can have quote. This is the original message. And we can quote. Right, I need to actually, I quote the original and then I add some content after the fact. Column. This is a reply. And we can quote all of this. And we can make another. This is another reply. Yeah, I'm gonna try to bring that back. But you know, I removed that for a reason, so I'm not sure I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to. Let's make it generic. Function takes one argument, the width, let's go 2 or something. Hey, Bancha, thank you. Hopefully more cool stuff to come soon. I know some cool stuff that's in the works, that's coming. So stay tuned. Right. So this is what happens. We try to use the horizontal rule on messages, like on a row right now. It pushes all. It basically fills. So, but what we actually want is we want this to be a height shrink. Over here. And then let's add also some spacing between the row and the content. And maybe some padding, some spacing here as well. So we could have here a reply. Original. Reply. And this is going to be a column of the quote of the original and the reply. And I think in this case, we don't need the shrink. So now we can do reply is the original message, is a reply, and we reply on the reply. This is another reply or something like that. All right. Right. So when we do this, the spacing's fine, but the rows are not there, right? They just collapse completely because we added shrink. So we need to find a way, in my opinion, the way I solved this before is to, whenever you have something that is fill, even if it's in the cross axis, so the row fills are the row places contents horizontally. The idea is if you have an element that is fill, doesn't matter in which direction, you delay it so that you actually only you lay it out when all the other shrink content has been laid out. So this is what would happen if you did it, like if you placed fill in width. So for example, I think it's possible to set that here. Well, no, it is not. But if I was able to set somehow fill here, it would actually work. But of course it wouldn't be what we want because this would push the content towards the right. So let's see. So what I'm doing is here, what I'm doing is cross is 0 if the axis is vertical and the width is shrink. So basically, if it's a column, the width is shrink, the cross is 0. And I think that this cross, we are using it for filling. So you have the fill cross factor over here. I know that we do true, Yeah, fill main factor doesn't equal 0. Fill main factor equals 0. Right, so the problem is this. The rule has a fill main factor that is 0, but if it has a fill cross factor that is not 0. The factor is like proportionally, if this item is fluid and it's supposed to fill, then how it should be distributed with other elements that are also fill. Basically, it's the fill portion part of length. Fill has a fill portion of 1. So basically, if it's 0, it means it's a specific size, a fixed size, or it's supposed to be shrink. So here we're setting max cross as the maximum height, well, as the maximum cross boundary. But because we're setting it to 0 and there is no other content in the quote, right? Because the vertical rule is the first element in the row, this cross is going to be 0 because we haven't actually initialized it yet. We haven't actually laid out anything yet. So the max height that we're going to be setting is 0. And so it's impossible that it's going to have any actual size. So this is where the problem happens. Now what we could do is we could say, do this only if the fill cross factor is 0 over here. So first we will lay out everything that has in both axes a fixed size or a specific size. Now, I'm trying to think if this is going to break other things. Probably it will. This is why I removed that example at some point. Because it may fix this case, but it may break other cases. For example, you may have something that has a specific size on the main factor, but not on the cross factor. And in that case, what are you supposed to do, right? I'm guessing we could have a like a different kind of mode. If you have shrink on the actual container in that specific cross axis, we could trigger like a different kind of logic here. Yeah, I may have GIMP. See if I have GIMP. Yeah, I do. Terrible at drawing though. Let's see. Let's go black. Is that... What do you use, a paintbrush? Smaller, please. 10? Okay, sounds good. So you got a row, right? And what we want is we want some text in here, and then we want the rule here. Now this rule is fill. So how do we designate that? Let's say it's F, supposed to fill, but this one is shrink, right? Now by default, if you put any element, in a row, the row will automatically inherit the, let's say, most fluid part of the layout. So the moment that we put a vertical rule in it, this row will also be fill vertically. So it means that it will push anything down. Now, manually, what we're doing is we're replacing this and we're setting shrink, right? And so now the problem is we have a row that wants to shrink, so it wants to go that way, right? But then we have a rule that goes downwards, and so we have like two conflicting constraints kind of thing. And trying to so what we actually want is we want this rule here. When this kind of thing happens, when you have a shrink and you have a fill element in that sense. So basically, if you have, let's say we have this is a given axis of the row, right? Like there's the X, there's the Y axis, or horizontal and vertical axis. And these can be in either an fill or shrink, right? Fluid or not fluid kind of thing. So what we want is, if it's shrink, for any element that doesn't actually match the shrink. So if it's not shrink. So if any element that's fluid, what we want is delay that layout until after these has been laid out, until all the other elements have been laid out, and then lay out the other one and use that as the cross section, I think. So it's not like because if this is filled, but this is filled, then we want the old behavior. We would want this to push down, you know? Right. So, like if I do this, if I make this change over here, okay, it crashes. Yeah, that's because I haven't put here or fill cross factor doesn't equal 0. I'm guessing I'll probably break a bunch of stuff with this. Yeah, you can see that the sidebar's gone here. Now this works, right? But I broke other stuff. Like the sidebar's gone. The actual bar on top here is gone too. But now this works. Basically because what we're saying is the rule now is positioned as if it after the text. We have two passes on the row. We have one pass for shrinks, one pass for fluid or fill. And first we do shrinks and then we do fills. But we only do that in the direction of whatever in the flex direction, let's say. So the problem we have is with the cross dimension. So what I want to try is, let's say if I if I can say here, cross, how could I call that? Cross shrinks. Compress, cross compress, cross compress, something like that. So we have a flag that will tell us if we want to compress on the cross axis. Something like that. This one needs to be moved over here. Fill main factor equals 0. And either no cross compress or no, or cross compress and fill cross factor equals 0. Now here, we just need to negate this, I think. So it should be and then we negate this part as well, not cross compress or not fill cross factor doesn't equal 0. That's how you negated things, right? Am I wrong? Cross compress and fill cross factor equals 0. The negation of this, well, we can just do What would be the go-to way for placing a widget at the bottom of a window? Well, you just fill for the height for the container, and that should bring it down. You use a column, and you have one element at the top that fills and that has a height fill property, and then on the bottom, the element you want at the bottom of the window. I can show you want. Like for example, let's go to the counter, right? Hello there. So the counter is at the top, right? How do we actually, if we wanted to put it at the bottom of the screen, how would we do that? Out the window. Let's go here. So we have, this is the current content. We have column. And we can do something like vertical space, for example. And then we place this stuff inside. This vertical space automatically fills vertically. Well, that made it gone. All right, because I have a broken layout. Wait, let me stash. Yeah. So that's how you could do it. Vertical space, for example. But this could be anything you want. You could be a column with more content. And you could put here height fill. Right, and now you have some content up here and some content down there. Right? Okay. think this has to be an and. A fan of what? I feel blessed. What do we want here? So if it's shrink on width or shrink or no cross compress, yeah, no cross compress or the full cross factor equals 0. Like in the case that this is that what we want? No, that's all we want. It's or cross compress and fill cross factor equals 0. Yeah, that was fine. No, it's supposed to be and here. Because we want to actually limit. I'm just, if I add an or, it's not actually limiting. That sounds better, I think. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So if we have an element that fills in the main direction, that doesn't fill in the main direction, and we don't want to compress in the cross section, or the element has also doesn't fill in the cross section, then we actually lay out the element. But if, for example, the element doesn't fill in the main direction, but we want to compress, and yeah, we want to compress, this will be false, and also it fills in the cross direction, then we skip this. Yeah, that makes sense. Man, layout be crazy. Yeah, clearly this breaks other stuff. And the quotes don't even work. So clearly we're doing something wrong. Ah. Yeah, we basically want to simply negate this. Should be this, right? Or is my... Oh, I think this should be negated. Is my logic that rusty? Okay, well, this is more interesting. Okay. We're cooking. It's all working. How about that? So, I think this should work now. Let's try it with a column as well. Let's go to layout here. So many examples. Okay, quotes here. What happens if, for example, I make a column here and then I put a horizontal rule here. Yeah, I'm quite enjoying it so far. I like it as some kind of way to archive the work, the open source work I do, and I can review it later. And I don't know, it kind of documents all the design decisions that I'm taking. Because, you know, sometimes it's like I go back to stuff that I did a while ago and I don't exactly remember the thought process. So this is a way of getting better at not only reviewing that process, but also getting better at explaining what's going through my mind when I'm designing or when I'm coding. It's tricky. I mean, I'm pretty bad at it right now, but I imagine it'll get better. Just a skill. So, right. So here, this is filling because we haven't set with shrink. So this is a column with a horizontal rule. But now if we actually set this width to shrink, it should, we do width shrink, it should collapse and just, yeah, exactly. Yes. See, Richard, it wasn't that hard. Now, I'm not sure I haven't broken other stuff. That's probably, that's the thing. We need test suit. We need a good test suit for layouts. That's something we could eventually work on, like the headless API for Iced, and having a suite of software renderer based layout tests that can run in CI, and so we can compare pixels or like the actual output of Iced with images that we have pre-stored or something. I mean, technically, we could write layout tests with manually with numbers, but it's so much more visual to be able to say, well, this particular image is broken, right? I don't know. Doesn't necessarily need rendering, but it's just harder to reason. It's harder to write a test. Like how, let's say let's say we wanted to, for example, have this quote here, this quote example as a test. How do I freeze this layout and compare it to a different one? Like how do I capture it so I can actually assert when I change the layout logic? I mean, the best way is just do a screenshot, right? And then compare. Of course, it's at the same time also testing the renderer itself, because if it changes the renderer, then the tests break. But I see that as an actual feature of the test, not actually a problem. Yeah, but the rendering pipeline, we have tiny skia, so it can be. I mean, I've been meaning to do that kind of stuff for a while, like have actual tests that test the visual output, because in the end, that's what the user is gonna see, and I think that's the best kind of test we can have, at least for smoke testing, not necessarily for telling us exactly what's going on, but at least it will tell us, hey, your rendering is broken. It's or has changed in some way, right? Yeah, it could differ. Well, I mean, we're not hitting the GPU. We're hitting tiny skia, so there's no GPU. It's all CPU deterministic. Because if like we cannot run GPU stuff on CI. Yeah, I mean we can, but it's very expensive. Yeah, but we're not hitting the GPU. Like as I said, software rendering based test suite. Okay, like I don't know. Let's try other examples. What are examples that are complex? Markdown? Yeah, that works. Seems to work at least. Cool. I actually had this in coffee. I actually implemented something like this. Um, Not even sure I merged it in the end. Yeah, I did. Not sure I had it. It was one of the last things that I worked on. Yeah, integration test for graphics here. Yeah. Then you could click here and see the differences and stuff. We could even make a visualizer, a test runner example too, like this. This was actually iced. This is the first version of iced with the sprites here. Actually, long time ago. It'd be awesome to have a bot that showed the PNG of the pixel diff. Yeah, or a nice app, right? Okay, all of this seems to work. Jesus. WGPU really likes to output a lot of logging. This new update. Okay, I mean, these changes seem to work. I cannot notice anything broken. Seems to... In fact, I mean, these changes are so... They're nice, and they could actually be released as a patch. Arrow up. Woomble. There's so many websites that I always so many websites for UTF symbols. We need the sprites back. GPU Naga and Cosmic Text trace and debug login made my inspector crash. I mean, this debugging is insane. Like why do you need to output this? This should be a trace, not info, you know. What is this? Device maintain. This is in GPU core device resource. Let's get rid of it. McClone GPU. My fork. I think they're using trunk. No? Pretty sure they are. GitHub.com. The GPU RS GPU git. Oh wait, upstream. Wait, why do I don't want to log in? Maybe it's not that. Alright, CFXRS still. Okay. Okay. Resource. Info. Block. Info. There's no info here. Core, oh, device. Block. They change it? I think they changed it. Shader error, the fragment stage. Gonna find it. I'm not sure what's producing this thing. Device maintained, waiting for submission. Maybe they already removed it. Waiting for sub. Oh, it's a trace now. So it's a trace now, but they haven't released this. When was this? When was this changed? CPU core, device, resource, blame, line 460. Two hours ago. Wow. Okay. That's yeah. That's close. We almost got there first. Device maintained, yep. Wait, they changed it. They moved it. Okay. But it was already trace. So let's go to the previous. Where's the parent? I find the parent of this thing. Remember how to do that. Let's see. Oh, it's right here. Parent. Browse files. We gotta go again. Device resource. Reduce verbosity for device maintained, waiting for submission index. Okay. This hasn't been released. Yeah, they changed this. Man, they should release this as a patch. They really should. When was the last release? July 31? Wait, why wasn't this released then? Well, they didn't include it in the release. 6044. Yep. Why not? I don't get it. Anyway. So I guess you nah, I don't think we can. Because I'm using tracing subscriber, but if you use rustlog, you can actually you can ignore WGPU, right? With the environment variable, the rustlog. Yeah, I think that they just forgot to cherry pick that merge. Unfortunately. But holy cow, does it spam. Tokyo Night, my favorite. What's your favorite theme? Of the ones we have. Which one are you using? Or are you rolling your own custom theme? I think we need to do a better job at color handling in terms of generating palettes. We're not doing an amazing job at that yet. So there's quite a pretty big amount of latency with vsync on. It's a bit annoying. Yeah, but tracing, you have to do it through the code, right? It's not as convenient. Yeah, dark is inspired by Discord. Actually, both light and dark are. Capuchin is cool too. Okay. So what do we do with this? We just assume this is a fix. Fixed. I'm wondering what happens now when you have a fill element in the same direction. I wonder if that is fixed. Probably not. Oh, from AMP. Okay. Didn't know. But is it a specific consumer, or is it tracing subscriber, or is it another subscriber crate? Because I think tracing has like it has a very wide API surface. I'm always kind of confused. Is it the original message? Yeah, I'm thinking what happens if I make if I make a column have width string, height string as well. but I add a vertical rule now. Well, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Like, I think that what will happen is that the vertical rule will be invisible. Yeah. Because it's compressed as much as possible. That makes sense. Like, if you have something that fills, but at the same time you're saying the height should shrink to be as small as possible, then yeah, it's going to just completely compress it. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So we call this a fix. Fix, cross, compress, flex, layout. Shrink, cross, flex, layout. It's so hard to actually explain this fix. Fix. Layout of fill elements in a shrink cross axis. Flex layout. The elements will fill instead of collapsing, the elements will fill the fill elements will fill the space allocated by the by the shrink by the other shrink elements present in the container. Yes, it does, Suza. You can do stuff like this now. But I'm not sure I didn't break other stuff, so use at your own peril. Use at your own risk. I think I'm gonna slate it for 0.14 so we can actually test it properly. I don't feel confident in just shipping it, YOLOing it. Layout widget. I'm creating the PR on my laptop because I'm not logged in here. Okay. Yeah, you gotta set basically shrink explicitly to the container, and it should work. By default, it will still behave like it does before, like it did before. But if you actually say, okay, I want this to shrink, it will behave that way. So okay. Test it out and tell me if it works. And your comment didn't show up because you relinked the raw stocks. You can't send links that YouTube doesn't let you, or what? Date button catalog and style documentation. Okay. So another thing I want to do is I want to, well, there's some other stuff I wanted to fix in master. There are some references to the ecosystem guide still that I want to get rid of. Contributing.md has it. Look at the roadmap to get an idea of the current state of the library. Take a look. Okay. What else? Roadmap has it. Let's just remove that. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Remove broken ecosystem links to ecosystem MD. The mFilter flag that allows you to use mFilter struct. This one? I have no idea how filters are used. Like, all I know of tracing subscriber is to use the FMT init. So that's all I've used. But not even with the subscriber builder. I use this function. Throw global. Oh, here. Okay, got you. So you do format, creates the subscriber, and then you use the builder. Understood. So here's where you have the with mFilter. Says that the subscriber will use to determine if a spanner event is enabled. That this method requires the mFilter feature flag. But there was previously said. Okay. Okay. Good to know. Thanks. Okay, another thing I wanted to work on. The book. So something I wanted to do is I wanted to add a new section. Frequently asked questions. FAQ. Basically. Hello, Lapse. How are you doing? Localhost 3000. Oh, come on. I didn't want to Google it. Frequently asked questions. Okay. So I want to write some of these frequently asked questions. Maybe you have some ideas of what this could be, but I have some in mind. One is, when will the book be finished? Let me find capitalize titles. There's a nice tool for this. When will the book be finished? Will the book be finished? How do I scale? How do I build does do get how do I oh what do maybe how do I scale a large application? Basically I wanna link to the Pocket guy here whenever I feel like it, mainly. Doing great actually, especially because of the new release. Yeah, life is good, right? Such a great release. Apparently it's kind of broken on Linux though, on some NVIDIA setups. I don't know why. I have the exact same setup that the users that are reporting the issue have, and it works for me. Apparently the latest WGPU update fixes it, but you enjoying the new release then? How do I scale a large application? VM architecture can be used for can be composed. Haven't tested it on new 0.13 on Linux yet. I confirm it on had a bug where ice apps would just freeze in the bug and release. The examples of the repo would freeze as well? Or was it just your app? Mm-mm-mm. Like on Windows, it worked flawlessly, but on Linux, it would just freeze after less than 1 second. Yeah. I think there was a driver update from NVIDIA that broke things or something. I wonder if all those people that have issues, maybe they just need to run cargo update to get the latest GPU patches. I'm not sure. Open source is a gift. How to scale a large application. Do you have any other ideas? Frequently asked questions. I had some in my mind. Can't remember now. Subscriptions. How I have a channel. Exactly. Open source is a gift. Indeed. I just get the question a lot of people asking me, for example, like in the book, right? I have one issue. Expect the following chapters. Are there any plans to update the book, right? Like, I mean, this issue is great because at the very least, they're giving you a compliment and they're saying that the book is very useful and that's awesome. Like, look, if you're at least saying something nice and then you're going to ask, are there any plans to update? Yeah, of course there are plans. In fact, I talk about it here, right? The book is far from finished. There are more topics I want to cover here, right? So it's there. So there are plans. But basically what they're trying to ask is, when's that stuff coming? And it's just, I don't know. I got to write it and it's all, then you have this person, where the frick does magic come from? You don't add it and it's not the magic crate. Bad tutorial. And then I block this user, right, from the org. And they come back. They come back again. Hello, would it be possible to tell me which crate is? Then now they come back, but it's nicer. They're like trying to be nicer. Just read the chapter. It's all in there. Right? Why is the book empty? Is it only for me or the book is empty? When I go to Ice, to get started button forward me to the empty link. Why is it empty? God damn. I wonder, why is it empty? I wonder if I should I should probably point to the release, right? Yeah. Just more stuff that we will have to update eventually. I wonder if we should use the latest link here. Probably better, I think. Or should we just update it manually? Yeah, we should probably update it manually. Because the book, like if I put latest here, it's unclear what kind of version the book is targeting at this point. Yep. Run. Could you use magic to develop software? Yeah, it's weird. You use a metaphor and then it just people don't get it. I don't know. Well, I've also been told that what I should do is I should put the last example here. I should put it all the way on the top, right? So you don't have to read the actual chapter to get how to actually run it. Which is, it just defeats the whole purpose of the defeats the whole purpose of the chapter, doesn't it? And if you just want to run an ICE app, then go to the API reference. That's the point. If you don't want to read the book. Okay, stream Rust on Steam. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Trademark symbol. Where's the trademark symbol? Yeah. No, I don't want to. Here. Soon trademark. Yeah, that's cool. Let's see. Let me go back to the Rust thread. See if there's any more criticisms or stuff that I can directly address here. Would be good if breaking changes and migration paths were clearly documented. Well, I mean, yeah, not much we can do there now, I think. So this one should address the scaling large applications, large invariant element map. view methods need to be thousands and lines. You can simply split it into functions. There's one person here that's doing God's work. I would like to embrace any new stuff in the realm of GUI development. Visual Guide is actually great. I can finally start getting into it. I think there's one that's like, do you support right to left text or CGK Chinese? CGK Chinese, I think I heard. CGK. Oh, Chinese, Japanese. Okay, scripts. Does iced. Neither are input method editors. These features are in the roadmap. However, text shaping. Where we got that? 0.13.1. You know the problem of having now docs on in here is that you have to scroll all the way down. So yeah, no docs is better than docs. Just because of that. I'm sure someone will complain. Gotta scroll all the way to the bottom to actually use the thing, to actually find the modules. There's too many docs. The docs are too long. Where's our roadmap? Here. All right. What else? Should I have a link here for input method editors? Let's put one. Input method. Too many useless docs. Don't forget the useless. Pretty mediocre docs, am I right? Just mediocre. Pocket guide. I keep closing the docs. Space here. What are some other questions we used to get? Subscriptions. It's quite a bunch of stuff. How to change HTML like Canvas. How to use Windows size. Help with simple requirements. Convert from pixel. The shader widget is update called only upon input or on every frame. Oh yeah, yeah. That's another one I wanted to talk about. When is view, when are update, no, when is view called? When are view and subscription called? Does iced redraw all the time? No, that's not the one I wanted to select. Yeah, D is not capitalized. Common errors, like what? Ice currently redraws after every runtime event. Including mouse movements, including tiny mouse movements. We also do not have incremental rendering set. We also do not have any kind of incremental rendering. Well, we have some kind, yeah. I think that's probably good enough. There are plans to improve There are plans to redraw less frequently by detecting widget state changes, but performance has not been a priority so far. Redrawing is quite cheap in most cases, so it may not be an issue for your use case. The renderers do perform quite a lot of catching, so redrawing is quite cheap in most cases. This may be not. This is not made. The result. It's rarely an issue for most use cases. Different executors, some trait bounds like theme. Well, I mean, it's not meant to be the whole book, you know. I mean, it has to be questions that are quick that people have asked. Like, how am I supposed to explain different executors? Do you mean the? Well, there's been the actual, yeah, the question of, yeah, enabling the Tokyo feature, right? Yeah, we could address that one. Can subscriptions be used to pass futures to the Iced app? You can use task for that. In fact, there's a, if you go here and you put future, there's this thing here, task. It takes a future. You return this in update. And the renderer and executor features and M flags. Well, those should be documented in the API reference emo. Probably in the Pocket guide. How do I scale a large application? How can my application receive updates from a channel? Does I support right to left text and or CJK? I think render and flags, sure, but all the FAQ is also in the docs. I was thinking something like just a link and quick use these flags. For example, some people only notice they are on software rendered because of performance. Yeah. I just don't know how to like, what's the question that they have? What's the question we are replying or answering here? That's the thing. Like I imagine, I mean, I've seen the question of people trying to run a Tokyo future and then crashing because you don't have a. Let me see if I find it. Tokyo. Something like reactor or something. Yeah. I'm trying to use that, but I get this message. There is no reactor running. Must be called from the context of Tokyo. I tried using task, but the title capitalization again. I tried using task, but my application crashes with. There's no reactor running. This is a long question. I don't know. I don't know how to rephrase it. Like how to. I guess I can put the error here, maybe. There is no reactor running. We get a panic saying there is no reaction running. What is going on? Maybe I am getting a panic saying there's no reaction running. What is going on? You probably using task to execute a Tokyo future. by enabling the Tokyo feature in the iced crate pommel. Iced version 013 features Tokyo. Okay. Pa, pa, pa. Okay. I think other executor flags. Honestly, I think it's probably not worth it. If someone is using a different executor, they're probably already competent enough to figure out what the problem is. Because Tokyo is just the most common. Like it's not even a contest, right? There's also a feature flags page on docs that you can link. There's a feature flags page on docs? Wait, what? Really? Since when? Is that new? What is it? Platform? No. Look. 83 out of 83 items documented. We have 100% coverage of documentation, and people still say we don't have docs. Psst, come on. Please. Oh shit, feature flags. I never clicked here. I thought this was some kind of report system or something for whatever reason because of the icon. All right. But it's not really very well documented, but whatever. Can I link to one specific feature? Oh yeah, I can. Cool. So is there a way to actually add documentation here? It'd be nice. The Tokyo feature flag. They'll say they're useless too, though. The size all the time. I think maybe I should just yeah, capitalize this. Is capitalized? Do you capitalize that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I had what is going on already. All right, yeah. I think that's good enough for the first FAQ, first version. Add frequently asked questions section. Let's go with that. I'm getting tired of writing docs, so let's code. Let's do Let's update Icebreaker instead. Let me clone it. Let's update it. Let's update iced to 013. Then we run cargo update. Okay. Let's see what's up. They could get the comment from the tunnel. Yeah, I guess they could, but probably not easily. Because I mean, I don't know, maybe there are comments there that other people, I mean, yeah, they cannot change the spec of cargo tunnel that easily. It has to be Wagworks compatible. Oh no. Why is it because, oh, I think that's probably because I didn't say it's not Rust. So it's trying to test an example. Yeah. Let me projects book stumble sh maybe. Yeah, text. Mark code block in like FAQ example and hey section as okay. How do I don't press event to text widget? Maybe that could be another frequently asked question or something. Okay, test pass now. Cool. All right. Okay. Cannot be sent between threads safely. What's going on? RC eyes widget text span cannot be sent between threads safely. Why does it need to be sent though? Am I actually using Markdown here for? Oh yeah, I am. Yeah. Interesting. This is gonna need a nice fix. So what's happening is I'm using in boot, I'm using Markdown item in a message. So boot is, well, first I can show you the app. For those of you that are unfamiliar with it, let's compile it with 012. So Icebreaker is a local AI chat app that uses Llama CPP to spawn a server with a LLM model, and then you can talk to it locally. It's like a local chat GPT app, right? So you open it and you have a search, and then you can like find any models you want. This is using the Hugging Face API. And then you can say 0.3 Mistral, for example. This one. Then it shows you the description that's in Hugging Face of the model you selected. Then you can choose which file you want to boot. These are quantized versions of the model. And so you could say, I don't know, this one, KM or whatever. And you press boot. And then now it starts downloading over here. You can see it here. And then we can start typing also while we wait. And then you have like a chat kind of interface. This is 4 gigs, so it's gonna take a bit. Yeah, I mean, I wanna extend this app with, ideally, I would like to introduce also image generation, like Stable Diffusion or Flow and stuff like that, with the little Python server and the Rust API that connects to it. That would be cool. And ideally, you'd be able to connect both the chat with image generation at the same time. That would be nice. The problem with the file size is that you need to actually hit Hugging Face for every file because it doesn't provide you with the information. Almost done. Okay. Boom. Ready. So now we can talk to it. Howdy. You are in a live stream. Say hi. Hello and welcome to the live stream. I'm here to help you with any questions or topics you may have. Let's have a productive and enjoyable time together. Okay. Do you know about Iced? The best GUI, the best crate, the best Rust crate for GUI. Community driven. I wouldn't say it's community driven. Designed to provide a simple existing API for building desktop and web based. Okay. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of generic. Could say it is from for every toolkit. Yeah. I mean, you can hit for every file, but it's yeah, you may get rate limited and stuff, so that's why I don't do it. Like you have to make a request for every file, then it's not cool. I don't know. It's just weird why they don't provide you with that info. So something that Icebreaker does too is that it generates the title from the conversation. So if I talk again, I don't know. Tell me more. The first message generates one preliminary title, and then the fifth one generates another one. Whoa. Okay. Exploring Nice, a modern GUI library for Rust. Extensibility. Well, I mean, yeah, this is pretty good. Cross-platform, consistent API, active community, documentation. ICE has extensive documentation. Yeah, I like this model. This model is based. See? All right. So, and then if you close and you open it again, it stores the state. So it just, you can keep going from where you left off, right? So the thing is that I'm using Markdown for this README loading over here. So we load this README asynchronously behind the scenes in a task, parse the Markdown, and then we send it back to Iced and we show it. And the problem now is that if I try to update, we hit, what it's basically saying is widget text span, these RC widget text span. This is the what we are using for Markdown. This cannot be sent between threads. It means that the item, this item here is not sent because it has RCs inside. Where is it? Does it actually have RCs? No, this is not the right iced. Let's restart. Yeah, it's persistent now. Having a problem when exiting a combo and creating a new one very quickly. Yeah, maybe. Could be. Because it needs to stop the server. And it does that by dropping. There's a task that we're keeping in the conversation. There's a handle. See, this is booting. Then we have the assistant here. This handle is the boot handle or the boot of the boot task. So if you exit while it's booting, it will stop this task. It will abort it. And then the assistant has a Arc server here, and the server implements drop. And this is where we actually stop the server, right? In the case of the process, we don't need to because it's, I think we're already saying here that this should be, I don't know where are we actually spawning this thing. Launch with executable. Yeah, kill and drop right here. Yeah. So the process should be killed just by dropping it. But that takes time. So if you, I guess that if you quit very quickly and then try to open again, it may try to start a new server while the other's still bound to the port, and it may fail. We have to either retry after, if that happens, or maybe just quit the conversations synchronously or something. I don't know. Yeah, llama process already running. Yeah, exactly. That would make sense. So yeah, here's the problem. Spawn blocking, right? We're sending this task and we're parsing. We're parsing in the background because the readmes can be quite long and parse can actually take a while. So we don't want to block the UI while we load the readme, right? And because parse is a blocking, like it's not async, we need to actually spawn it in a spawn blocking task in Tokyo. Because if we don't, then yeah, we're blocking in an async context, and that can actually that's bad. That can block other tasks from being pulled in the particular thread that runs the blocking task. So with spawn blocking, what it does, I think that Tokyo has its own thread pool, dedicated thread pool for blocking tasks, and it just uses that thread pool for all of those, for anything that blocks. That way, you have a different thread pool for the async stuff that you need to pull constantly. Okay. So yeah, this needs a fix in Iced actually. So let's actually use here I'm gonna try use my local iced. It should give us the same error, but now we will know we fixed it. But I think all we need to do is just change the RC for an arc. Oh, we ran out of disk space. Crazy. 30 gigs. Have an app that, among other things, can download something from the internet, and I need to get the output state of the download to see the progress and such. Would that run a subscription, or is task run more correct? I'm asking since, as far as I know, the download example is out of date since the new task additions. Right now I'm using a subscription. Task is more appropriate because it's something that can end on its own. Like the download eventually ends. Subscriptions are for stuff that the application is the only thing controlling the subscription's lifetime. A subscription cannot end on its own. It's something infinite that lasts for as long as you're subscribed to. For example, the time, right? Time is always there. Time is always ticking as far as we know. And the application can choose, now I want to listen to this or not. Yeah, so we have the same error. Let's see. We'll markdown. We go to markdown and we have an RC over here. I'm going to change this to an arc. And this should make it send. And I think we can actually release this as a patch as well. Man, so many patches. I think we're in 0.13.4 at this point because this is another widget patch. It's really that simple? Seems like it. It's compiling everything. All right. Yep. Okay, let's try this again. Well, we're having, right, this is different now. Expected argument number 2 of type palette. Yep. Okay, we're getting different errors now. Yeah, parse doesn't need a theme anymore, which is great. Pa, pa, pa. Okay. Toggler has changed now, and it's only the actual state, and then you put the label. Like this, and then the on toggle, like that. I think. And then here's where we need the actual style. From palette theme, we're gonna pass the theme to the view. This is unfortunate, but yeah, necessary until cosmic text lets us change color of text during rendering, not during layout. Actually, I can just pass. Okay. All right. Should be it. Are you still considering removing the theme generic? No, I'm not. I think that the styling changes, the last styling changes make things quite good, quite easy to use. So grab AI. What is this? Band's AI model based on the powerful Google Gemma 2 architecture, specifically trained to provide visitors of the school's website with straightforward information about the institution. Okay, well, this is updated, but we need to merge that first and release it. Use arc for markdown. Replace RC with arc for markdown. Replace RC cache with arc for markdown catching. All right. Let's make another PR. This is more of a improvement, internal improvement, I guess. Not a break and change, since we're just adding a send trait and the RC is not exposed externally. So that's good. I'm gonna enable auto merge for this one. Hopefully no new lints. Okay. Cool. So now we'll release a patch. We can do a cargo update here and it should work. Once this is merged. So this was an easy fix. Don't know why I chose RC by default. I guess that because I assumed it was mostly stuff that would be in view, but you're actually storing these in application state sometimes. Did the book update? Yep. Cool. Do you think removing the theme generic would be a good idea? At this point, I don't think so. The point is that it has a purpose to make things type safe. Like that's why style is like this. The styling functions take a theme, and you can. And then we also have the themer widget too that you can leverage in some instances. Then another thing I would like to work on, this user is asking me, it'd be great to publish the app to FlatHub. And I agree, it would be great to have actual binaries for the app. But there are no pre-built binaries yet. And so what I would like to do is I would like to set that up. But I would like to do that by having a cargo command, cargo subcommand that takes an application and bundles it for each of the major OSs. So for Linux, it would generate tars, deps, and flatpaks maybe, and maybe RPMs too. Then for Windows, you would have a .exe or an MSI installer, maybe those two. And then for Mac OS, you would have that .app or a .dmg or a .package. That'd be cool. And there's cargo bundle already that exists, and it looks pretty good. But as far as I know, it doesn't support Flatpak, and it does not support universal binaries for macOS. So that means you have to compile the Arch, Darwin, and the Intel, like the M1 or the ARM and the Intel architectures like separately, and then combine them yourself with lipo and stuff. But I would like a drop-in command that I can just run in CI. Easy, simple line, one line, and it just does what I want. Super opinionated. That's it. And it just generates. And then along the way, see if we can make it a bit configurable, kind of like this. But like this doesn't have a lot of configuration, so that's cool. There's just any macOS frameworks that need to be bundled with the app. Minimum system version. String indicating the minimum macOS versions that bundle the app. Yeah, the macOS deployment target. Yeah, there's a lot of things to consider here. You think it's annoying? The theme argument is annoying, but it's default everywhere. You never have to type it if you're using the built-in one. I think you should rarely want to use a custom theme unless you're building your own toolkit on top of Iced. But if you want to, if you're just developing an app, I don't know. I think that using the built-in themes should be good enough for most use cases, or generating a custom palette should be good enough too. Like a custom theme with theme custom. We even have custom with function here, which allows you to control how the extended palette is generated. So you can control everything you want. You're only limited to these particular types here. But it's, I don't know, I find it quite versatile. Well, my idea is to copy a bunch of code from this crate for sure. Like for installers, you have Cargo Wix for Windows. Uses the Wix toolset to create a installer. I don't know how it actually creates the MSI here. Where are these values coming from? Guessing there's an MSI package. Oh, an MSI file out of a relational database stored within a compound file binary file. Oh, okay. So it's just, yeah, just generating the MSI file directly. That's cool. Like, I'm pretty sure we can either fork this or probably just copy paste. I don't want to fork and then remove things. I want to start from scratch, from nothing. And then we can copy stuff. I guess. And we need a name for the tool too. Theme bounds. Customizable design system for Iced. How's this work? Okay, it's got a bunch of extern crates. Not sure what error chain is. What is this error chain? Huh. A macro magic for errors. Build project even build. From Discard will build to make sure the binary file is up to date. Package type. All. Short name. Settings. All package types. All package types. What does it do there? Gets all package types, iterates, gets all formats. Uh-huh. I see. Mm-hmm. Okay, so these are just settings, configuration flags. Okay. Build project even built, and then bundle project. Cool. Still not done. Oh, Windows is so slow. Oh, it's done. All right. So let's release that. Pull git log. We grab that commit over there. Cherry pick. And then we bump the version. 0.13.4. Because I think we just published, yeah. Bump version 2. Cargo publish. Package ice widget. Okay. Now here, I'll run cargo update. And I'll compile. Yeah, it works. Nice. Update iced to 0.13. There we go. Simple enough. I was already using a very recent version, so. So I don't know. This looks quite complicated, to be honest. It's gonna be tough, but it's something I want to do for sure because I want like a drop-in command for any application, for any ice application I make. Ideally, it should be as simple as saying, I have this Rust app and I have this icon, which is the logo of the app. This is the app's name. That's it. And that should just be enough. Maybe the website, maybe the repo URL, which is, wait, that's already a key in the cargo toml. Yeah. So homepage and repository are already there. So yeah, that's what I would like. URL schemes. Yeah, I'm actually thinking, why not just reuse this at this point? I think that there's people already working on Flatpak support here. And I don't know about the universal binary, but it probably isn't that hard to add. I don't know. App image support, that's also there. Cool. Hmm. Oh, look, Simlay's here. He worked on iOS support for Iced at some point. Small world. Crunching the latest data. I'm the weirdo stalking people. I guess no cache ready for me. Okay, keep your secrets. GitHub. I mean, it seems kind of maintained. Yeah. Don't know. Just feel like I want to be able to control the details of the whole thing. Have Linux here, common iOS bundle. I thought RPM wasn't was not supported. Yeah, I was thinking taking inspiration of this and also Halloy, which has a bunch of scripts. They're rolling their own build setup. Not sure if there are building RPMs though. think they're just doing a tar file for doing Flatpak. Mm-hmm. Does what still work? The iOS examples for Iced? Well, they're in the org, but they're archived and working on, like they're super old. Let me see here. It's actually the oldest repo we have 5 years ago. So I would bet they don't work. If I had to bet, I made this repo for you, Richard. Still empty. Shame on you. Um, I'm actually happy with this fix here. I didn't think it would be that simple. But, you know, I'm still not entirely convinced. I think that it may break other stuff. I don't know. Test it out. Test this thing out, guys. Test this branch if you can. And tell me that nothing's broken. Have a feeling that maybe there's some, I don't know. It makes sense, but I've been so used to broken layouts that this feels too good to be true. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. How would I like ideally a bundle subcommand to work? So I like to have some package metadata here. Let's call it bundle or whatever. How does that work? Examples? Example hello. Bundle example hello. Okay. So the name of the app, right, would be Icebreaker. Then you need an identifier, which would be RS Icebreaker or something like that. Then you pass the icon, which in my case I just want one icon, a huge one, and we'll downsample it manually. I know that generally you probably want to be able to provide multiple instead of downsampling, but yeah, whatever. For now, we're just gonna rock a huge icon, and then we'll downsample it and generate any smaller ones like that. So it's assets, icon, logo, PNG. Category. It's a category. Short description, long description. Okay. I'm not sure what the category does. OpenGL is boring. Yep. I mean, it's kind of It's kind of easier than WGPU though. That like you don't need to worry about many things like memory, like upload stage and render stage. Like you can upload some memory, issue a draw call, then upload some other memory, issue another draw call. And the thing is that the drivers are they're so used to that kind of craziness that they're very, very good at actually matching the uploads. And you try to do that in WGPU, you get slowdowns real quick because all of that needs to be explicit, and you're supposed to sort that properly. And but it's explicit because you just need to. You can't upload the moment that you start a render pass, right? So you can with a queue, but that doesn't respect any ordering. You have to be more careful with OpenGL? Nah. I think you have to be more careful, but you don't have to be explicitly more careful. That's what I meant. Like it feels like a scripting language for graphics. Everything is allowed all the time. It's up to you to make sure you don't do it wrong. Whereas, no, I haven't seen. What is that? Azure DevOps? Surely it's not that, right? Approaching zero driver overhead. Oh, no. So what is it? They're trying to. Ah, yeah, I see. Which is probably gonna be just write your OpenGL code as if it were Vulkan itself. So batch all your updates together and have all the calls, right, all clumped together, stuff like that. I imagine because Vulkan is very close to the driver, right? I imagine to how the actual hardware works. Mm. So you have a workflow here. What are the workflows we have? So we want to bundle workflow, build workflow. Cool. Bindless calls. I don't know what that is. Package, maybe. Yeah, package. I like package. We'll run this on every push, maybe. Stable, style dependencies. And then here we'll just do cargo bundle. Package binaries. Not verbose. Well, yeah, verbose, whatever. And so we just need to fill in this subcommand because we need to install it. Yeah. I think I'm going to leave that for another day. I don't feel like starting a whole cargo bundle project now. Shorter stream, but yeah. I think I'm going to go play some Satisfactory. Been having fun playing that game. Super satisfactory. I'll see myself out. Anyways, take care, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hope you have a good weekend, good Saturday. And see you next time. Take care.